Jesse Ventura on Sean Hannity's program. Oh, this ought to be good. And they start with a question of, did Bush keep us safe? And is torture, etc., the right way to go? And what are the methods that we need to do to keep us safe? I have funny comments on Hannity as he struggles to appear as credible as Ventura. But let's watch the first clip first.
Look, we can go down the old road of our battle. You do not like the Bush administration.
No.
All right, you don't like Dick Cheney. I got that. I understand that. But I want to ask you some new questions.
All right.
All right, if you're game.
Sure.
All right? Because
sure.
What is it? What do you think of Barack Obama?
I think he's exceptionally intelligent. From, when you hear him speak and through...
He reads a teleprompter. Oh, come on.
Well, at least we got a president now who can read one.
Listen,
we didn't have that.
That's not a sign of intelligence. But
yes, it is.
No,
if you're not capable of reading a teleprompter.
No, it's not.
No, I'll say this. I think he's very intelligent. I think it's far too early to be judgmental because, let's face it, he inherited a mess. He inherited 2 wars. He inherited economy in the tank. Economy in the tank, 2 wars. Yeah. I wouldn't have wished that on my worst enemy.
Well, George Bush inherited a recession. George Bush inherited the negative.
No, he
Let me
did
finish.
not.
Yes, he did.
Wait a minute.
Oh, yes, he did. And the negative impact of 9/11.
All right. You're telling me that the United States was better off after George Bush or before him?
After.
Oh, my God. How can you make that statement?
You just did. And I'll tell you why.
Well, I don't even need to talk to you about it.
Listen, it's not about Republicans.
It's ridiculous. This country was far better off before George Bush than it is after George Bush.
Want me to quote you the 9/11 Commission report? For an entire decade... I'm glad I can make you laugh.
You can. When you bring up the 9/11 Commission, that makes me laugh. Because they didn't investigate nothing.
Well, I agree, and to one extent you're partially right, but they did get one thing right, that there were a group of radicals that were at war with the United States, and we weren't at war with them. Yeah. We saw the first Trade Center bombing, the embassy bombings, the USS Cole, and we have radicals that think God is going to reward them in heaven with virgins, Jesse. How do you stop them? What do you do? Tell me what you do.
You pay attention to memos on August 6th that tell you exactly what bin Laden's going to do. Instead, we hear Condoleezza Rice going, I didn't know what they were going to do. And the memo says, bin Laden set to hijack planes and ram them into buildings.
I have a better idea.
And your buddy, George Bush, he was on vacation in Crawford at the time. Did you know he took over 900 days of vacation?
No, president's never off. The president's. Do you know that? Let me give you an example.
This one was. He wasn't on his watch because the biggest attack in history happened on his watch.
See, but that's why I love Jesse, because he points out things that are so damn obvious that everybody else, for some reason, is afraid to point out. Which is, what are you talking about? 9/11 happened on his watch. Are you aware that we're still not at September 11th of 2009? Meaning getting to the same point in the Obama's administration that we were under Bush's administration when we were attacked. And if an attack happened now, what do you think? Conservatives would just say, oh, no, it wasn't Obama's fault. And we're nowhere near September 11th, right? So Bush went all the way to September 11th of his first term, got a memo, as Ventura points out, saying they're going to attack you. And here's how they're going to attack you, in which cities. And what Ventura didn't even point out there was Bush literally, while at Crawford, told the guy at the CIA who gave him the briefing, okay, you covered your ass, now go back home. He did not keep us safe, and it is an absolute joke to pretend that he did. So now Ventura's going to keep it going. They're going to argue over deficits here, and I'm going to tell you in a little bit why I think Ventura has so much credibility on both of these fronts. It's clip number 5.
Do you know who first brought up the deficit?
Yeah.
Ross Perot.
It's true.
That's right. True. And so don't come at me that all the Republicans do, they spend like Democrats, only they charge it. Listen. At least the Democrats go cash and carry. The Republicans do the same thing and charge it. I will tell you this, though, but in 1 year to quadruple the deficit, to have the CBO tell us that in 10 years... Let me finish. This?
Well, kids and grandkids. But in 10 years we're going to quadruple... And no, that's not true. No, this deficit is Obama's deficit. This is Obama's spending. Obama did it in 1 year.
To fix George Bush's mess.
You just...
But it's so true. You know, Obama, the man just came into office. Who created this mess that he's got to fix? Obviously, George Bush. Now, the reason Ventura has so much credibility is because he's a true independent. He couldn't give a rat's ass about the Democrats. He ran against the Democrats in Minnesota, and he has no interest in coddling them. And Hannity knows this, and that's why I look at Ventura and I think, you know, very similar to the way that I think, because I was a Republican all the way until 2003. I think, look, this isn't a matter of, oh, okay, I'm trying to be partisan on one side or another. Ventura's not trying to be partisan, and everybody knows that. It's just that when you look at it, you go, well, these guys clearly screwed it up. They screwed up national security. They screwed up America's image by torturing. They screwed up the deficits. They screwed up the economy. Now you want me to come out here and tell you it's 50-50. Well, I'm not going to do it. And neither is Jesse. He's more likely to body slam you. So now we go to the final clip. He's going to talk to Hannity about how Republicans are playing politics.
Jeez, you didn't even get to any good topics.
Because you insist on going over the old topic, and I knew you'd do this.
Well, because I need to pound it home to people to have them realize Barack Obama inherited this mess. Republicans had the Congress for 6 years, and they had the presidency.
Now it's Obama's mess, and Obama quadrupled the deficit in 1 year, and we'll see what happens to our kids and grandkids.
Okay, well, George Bush had a bailout too, didn't he? And you know what's interesting?
You're ever going to run for office? I don't care what you say about
Republicans voted for it when it was George Bush's bailout, but they wouldn't vote for it when it was Obama's. That's politics at its worst. That's putting your party before the country.
I am a Reagan conservative.
I'm a Goldwater conservative.
Well, I'm a Reagan conservative. We just disagree on social issues on many things.
Yeah.
Reagan gave us the longest period of peacetime economic growth. He ended the Cold War, and he took on evil in his time, and I love him for it.
Okay.
And Bush kept us safe. Goodbye. Thank you.
Kept us safe. The biggest attack in history on his watch.
Yeah, okay.
Don't tell me he kept us safe. No, I'll thank George Bush, who don't read memos and who goes on vacation and
sleeps. You should have blamed Clinton for not getting bin Laden when he was off.
Well, I'll put it to you this way. I'd rather have 1,000 Monicas than all these 9/11s and the terrorists.
I don't know why I like you, but I do. All right,
because I tell you the truth, that's why.
That's part of it. The other part of it is, oh no, from the top rope! The other reason is Hannity's like a little kid, and he knows that Ventura's a real man, right? He's a Navy SEAL, went through SEER training, etc., etc. It's obvious that he's speaking the truth. He doesn't have an agenda. He surfs in Mexico for 6 months out of the year. He doesn't give a damn. He's not playing politics. He's not trying to make a buck off of conservatives or liberals. And so when Hannity's in his presence, when Hannity's never served, never done anything, he's like, oh, okay, all right now, oh, but remember how much I love Reagan. And Ventura looks at him like, what's wrong with you, man? Like, why do I care how much you love Reagan? God, what? And the reason he says that is because he's got nothing. He can't defend Bush, right? He can't defend the Republicans playing politics because Ventura is, again, impossible to argue with. He's right. They voted for the same exact bailout for Bush, and they didn't for Obama, the Republicans. Why? Because of dirty politics. So, and the other part that I love about Ventura is he doesn't mind coming off the top rope several times. He said, look, my job here is to pound it home. And he's right, because no one else is doing it. And then when he does it, even Hannity's like, okay, I don't know why I like you, but you're such a man. You remind me of the other man in my life, Reagan. God, you guys are so manly. And then, you know, so Hannity's got nothing. You know, Obama. Yeah, please, please, please.
Watch a live show 24/7 at theyoungturks.com.